Hello everyone and welcome to Cadenza Gaming. My name is Cadenza. Let's game. Now, don't think that you need to adjust your television screen or whatever it is you're watching from. This is not the altars. We're actually doing something a little bit different today. We are doing a Link to the Past randomizer. I'm doing an open seed, and if you're not familiar with randomizers, I'll do a brief explanation. So basically, if you've ever played Link to the Past, imagine if all the items were randomized. Now you can do this in a way to set it so enemies and bosses are randomized, starting in the Dark World, all that fun stuff. And the goal, of course, is still completing the game. So the way that I'm setting this up is this is a standard open seed. So it's just open world, there's nothing special about it, just everything is randomized. My goal is, same in the other game, to get all the crystals and to defeat Ganon. This has been a year and a half, I think, since the last time I played one of these, but I was watching a lot of Free Enterprise, shout out to Free Enterprise, and I was watching a lot of Link to the Past randomizer streams, and it kind of got me in the mood to try again, so that's what we're doing. So some areas are going to be worth checking out, others are not. For example, there's bombs on the top of library, and there was a red gem or red ruby for the race game, so we're going to avoid those spots. I started out at Link's house, and I got some bombs, and I found a bomb in a spot where they usually spawn near the flute shack. So we're going to go through what is called a sphere zero check, which is looking around to places where it doesn't require certain items for the most part to be able to observe. So for example, bombing here. Now we want to try to find a sword or some sort of weapon. Ideally something to point us in a direction as to where to go. For example, if we got like a fire rod, we might understand that something related to the fire rod might be accessible. And I am playing as Acela Sheriff from Final Fantasy VI because she's awesome. So if any of my sequencing, any of my menuing is off, it is because I am incredibly rusty, so please bear with me. Some more money. And bombs. I'm probably going to be talking a lot more this stream than I normally do, so you're going to hear more of my voice. Let's see what we have here. We need some money, if possible, so we can talk to the bottle vendor. We don't have access to Sick Kid yet because we don't have... Oh, did I mess this up? I think I might have messed this up already. Again, it has been... Ooh, okay, that's good. So Eastern Palace, Palace of Darkness. If we find another bow upgrade... No, I got it. We're good. Ooh, that's good Zora money. There's a sword. Silver... Oh my gosh, silver arrows. Okay, so silver arrow... Having the bow means that 2 dungeons are already available. Having silver arrows means that if we had the right items, Ganon could potentially be possible already if we were playing a certain type of seed. Which we're not, but if we were, it would be doable. We're going to switch to these. Silver arrows kill pretty much every enemy, every boss, just like 1 or 2 shots. So bosses are going to be a cinch. Now you're probably thinking, why did you leave those 2 enemies alive? So in randomizers, typically your goal is to try to get the fastest time possible. Often you're racing against other people who are in the same seat as you. So in some cases it is better to save and quit. In some cases it is better to avoid fights altogether. You want to save as much time as you can. So we're going to save and quit. We're going to load back up to the menu. We're going to go to Sanctuary. We're going to see what's in Sanctuary. Boomerang. Okay. So based on this, let's see. We don't have Power Glove. We don't have Boots. I want to go to Eastern Palace. Now it's probably quicker for me to get there by save quitting, going to Link's house and doing it that way. But in some previous versions, it was actually faster to try to make the trek. There's also, so sure, there's a bunch of checks there, but I always liked delving into dungeons early. Speaking of which, we know there are crystals in Eastern Palace and Tower of Hera, and there is a red pendant in Desert. So Desert might not be necessary for the seed, unless there's an item in there that is linked to progression. That could be something like a Power Glove upgrade, maybe something for Dark World access. It really depends. Where is the green pendant? Turtle Rock. Oh boy. The chances of that being something relevant, pretty slim. Just because of all the things you need to get there. There's a bottle. Bottles are good. We are always happy to see bottles. So yeah, we know that Eastern Palace is something that's going to be required to finish the seeds, so that's what we're going to do first. And sometimes it's better just to kill the enemies, get them out of your way so they're not bumping into you, and preventing you from getting any further. So items I'd like to see here would be the hammer, anything for Dark World access. What else? Half magic's always good. Fire rod would be cool. Some sort of ability to see in the dark. I can do a lot of dark rooms, but I can't do all of them. I'm not as talented as some of the other streamers you might see on Speed Gaming or on their own respective channels. So we have the big key, so we know in each dungeon there is a map, there is a compass, and there is a big key, along with sometimes several smaller keys. Oh, and I missed. That's okay. We're going to go for the chest over here. That is a map, so we know that there is a compass somewhere. But other than that, the rest of these chests could have anything. Could be 20 rupees, could be an arrow, could be an upgrade. And so that's what races are all about. It's about understanding the layout of the seed itself, making sense of the logic behind it. Oh, shoot. Oh, come on. There we go. What do we have here? Oh, hookshot is such a good pick. The hookshot gives us access to certain dungeons, and that is for Sick Kid. I used to know how to do this perfectly, including the dark room we'll be going up to in a bit. Hopefully silvers will be enough to get me there, but yeah. Oh, did I miss the door? Ah, I missed the door, didn't I? There we go. Perfect. Did I get the key? Yeah, I got the key. Perfect. So I'm using my sword to basically show me where I am, and I've memorized most of the room layout. There we go. And we want to grab this. There's the compass, so there is an item potentially on the boss. Well, there's definitely something, but what it is, I don't know. Now, if there was like a compass or a map and this was a pendant dungeon, I might be tempted to just avoid it altogether. Right, got the items there. I have 20 arrows. Just doing some math. Because this is another dark room. Got the key? Perfect. So there was an enemy that I had to shoot to deal with. I could die here, potentially. Yeah. But I do have a fairy in a bottle that'll revive me, and hopefully I can navigate out before I take lethal damage. I'm pretty sure I'm... Yeah, okay. I was right there. That's what it was. Perfect. There's a couple of enemies there that are very unforgiving. Oh, shoot. Kind of overextended there. A lot of this is just practice. I started showing an interest in Link to the Past back when I was a child. I used to rent it from local gas station, and my parents and I would play it constantly. Not the randomizer, obviously. But when I found out that there was a randomized version of the game, well, I mean, that was just all the more interesting and fun to do, because I love puzzles, and I love nostalgia. I mean, who doesn't, right? So this boss is going to be, oh, so much faster. Trying not to take damage, and poof. We got our first crystal, and we have a shield. So with the hook shot, that means we could do part of Death Mountain, I think. No, wait, I'm missing something for that. Yeah, I'm missing the flute or power glove. So we need to do the sub-short checks that I was talking about earlier. So we are going to start at our house, and we're going to go down and check these out. Now, I do want to stress, just because this is the route that I'm taking, doesn't necessarily mean this is the fastest available route. Shout out to Local 58 for the reference there. There could be some stuff within the castle, for example. There could be some sort of obscure check that I'm just not seeing. There's Power Glove. Perfect. So we could do illogical access to Death Mountain because we don't have a light source. It's not logical access yet, so to speak, which is to say the seed will not require you to do so. So if there was a special item on the boss, then it wouldn't make sense for us to be able to have access to it at that time because we did a bunch of dark rooms. I'm going to take the money because I don't have money for Zora, and we're going to do a check over here. I don't normally do this check, but if I was in a race and I wanted more information, I would go ahead and do this. This will tell us if there is an item that requires either the mirror, the flute, or a second lift upgrade to access. Nope, just 50 rupees. Okay. Now, there still could be something that requires those things, but that one check, for example, is pretty quick and easy if you're already going to do this one. This, I believe, is called Agina's Cave. Alright, let's see what we have here. Look, look, look. What do we got? What do we got? We have a full heart. Full heart is good. However, a full heart is not what I really wanted. We're going to save equip, so we'll still have access to it. But now we are going to go back down the south shore, and we're going to do the other side. So I'm going to need to re-equip bombs. Actually, I'm going to show you a cool trick that I should be doing. You can freeze enemies, and you can pull yourself along, which can speed up your clock a little bit. Crabs do a lot of damage. This cave is going to be so much easier with the hook shot. Oh my goodness. I was a little bit terrified they were gonna come at me there. My low hearts. I've done that with bombs before, all sorts of different items. Let's see what we got. Boomerang. The hammer is a really good. Moon Pearl. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely full. So the hammer upgrade and the Moon Pearl and lift upgrade means that we can access some dark checks pretty much immediately. I'm just being ever so cautious because I don't want to die to that crab. We're going to go check out the ice cave checks. And if I had the money, I'd be tempted to do a fake flippers check. I'm actually kind of tempted to do it anyway, just in case. And I'll explain more about that in a minute. I believe I said so earlier, but I'm doing a oh, shoot. Oops, that's okay. I was gonna say, I am doing a no major glitches run. Actually, you know what? Let's check out the back of Escape first. I have the lift upgrade, and I have bombs, so I'm going to assume that there is something there. So we're going to take a look at that. That's the other thing too about races like this, is you want to know exactly what you're doing. You want to have a plan, but you also need to know when to deviate from that plan. Because sometimes it is the check you don't make which costs you the match, or the race. Or in some cases just costs you so much time. So we have Fire Rod. Oh, I'm so glad to see that. And enough rupees that we could do Fake Flippers Zora. So, talking about Fake Flippers earlier, I did mention this is a no major glitch run, which means that major world-breaking glitches not allowed. However, minor glitches are often allowed, so we are going to show you one of those, because I don't like leaving what are called orphaned checks behind, which are checks that the only way you would ever get to them is by going... Come on. Oh, that's good. Going back. So that is the item that we are going to get anytime we freeze an enemy is a heart. Doesn't matter what the enemy is, we are going to get one. That is generated whenever the seed starts, and it is always different. So for example, it could be 5 rupees, could be 20 rupees, could be arrows, could be bombs. Let's see. Oh, come on. No! No, 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 no. I am not having that happen again. Put the bomb here. Freeze you. Steal your heart. And let's see what we have here in Ice Cave. Watch this be like absolutely nothing. It was heart. So, let's see here. All the enemies respawned, because of course they did, because that's what happens when you leave a scene in the game. So, this requires pixel perfect, setup. Ah, come on. I used to be really good at this. There. So the game wants us to drown, but because we transition into a swimming movement, the game basically says, okay, you're swimming. But if we take any damage, we break the swimming animation, we automatically die. So, we need to be extra special careful not to die. You see, even in shallow water, we're still locked into that swimming animation. So we're going to get this item onto the bridge here. 10 arrows, that was a waste of time, but hey, now we know. And it is here. There we go. So this is what's known as the fake flippers check, or fake flippers glitch. So we're going to use this to gain access to a whirlpool, which will take us to another section of the map. This is also known as sequence break, similar to talking about logic before, when it came to access to certain parts of the game without certain items, logical access, etc., etc. So, whew, that was close. And I need to just go back out and go back in to preserve. There we go, perfect. So having that fire rod means that Eastern Palace would have been logical. Let's actually see what the bottle is today. We get fairy in a bottle, perfect. So having the lamp means we don't have to worry about dark rooms anymore, which is great because if we have to do, for example, the dark maze in Palace of Darkness, I know dark everything, right? Yeah, that's one of the ones I'm not really good at. 5 rupees there. So Zora could have nothing. Zora often has nothing. However, I am the type of person who tries to go for the long shot. Sometimes it is the check that you go, oh, it'll never be this, that has what you're looking for. So for example, Pegasus Boots here would be a game changer, as opposed to 5 rupees, which is not. So we are going to do some of those dark roll checks. I am trying to avoid doing escape because escape is just no fun, and I don't like it. It's just a really long, drawn-out process. So, everything looks different, everything deals a bunch more damage, and let's get a check to see where other things are. So, Ice Palace may not be required, which I'm completely fine with. If I don't have to do Ice Palace, oh, I am oh so happy. What do you have for us, friend? Blue Tunic? Perfect. Means we're going to take less damage. 50 rupees. A heart piece. Oh, a heart piece. And a second shield. Not the greatest. Blue Tunic, though, was nice. So we have some choices, especially with the hook shot. We can do some bottom checks, or we can do some top checks. And I think I want to do... I could do Stump, and I could do Shovel Game. And then I can go back to Light World, do this again, and go around the other side, because I don't have access to the second lift upgrade, and I don't have access to the mirror, so I can't do what is known as K45, for example. So, let's see what we have over here. Bombs, okay. Not great so far. If I was in a race, I'd be worried about making some of these checks, because some of them are not really looped into other things. Again, I'm not an expert or anything, but I have watched a lot of other people. So we are going to go do Shovel Game here. What do we got? What do we got? At least we're getting our money back. Ten arrows. Oh boy. Alright. Well, let's save quit. Let's go back and let's do that again. There's still Death Mountain checks that we could do. There's still caves that we have access to. However, I am positive there's got to be something here in the Dark World. Like, having early access like this is, to me, that's a sign. Not that I believe in signs, but yeah, you know what I mean. It's a signal. We're going to keep this hammer on us because we are going to need it. We could do a pyramid check. We could actually go through probably most of Palace of Darkness if we really wanted to. However, I'm not that much of a masochist to go through that right now and just dive it. There's some people that say dive dungeons and save the overroll checks. I'm very much overrolled first, with some exceptions of dungeons that are just so quick that you might as well do them. Palace of Darkness is not one of those dungeons. What do we have here? We are still low on hearts, so I'm going to go for this. If I was a bit more confident in my abilities to run through this, oops, I might have avoided it. So there's a couple more checks that we can do. There is the quick medallion check, and then we can go to the Thieves' Town sort of area. Again, trying not to kill unless absolutely necessary. I'm pretty sure I have access to this, because I'm pretty sure you can do it even without having access to the lift upgrade or the Pegasus boots. Yeah. It's just getting back would be a challenge, except there is a jump over there. It's almost like it was designed for that. Alright, let's see what our friend in the circle has for us today. Can we join the inner circle? Something good, something good, something good. Hey, you know what? I will gladly take that, because now we take far less damage, which we just tested. Obviously, that was a test. We didn't just bump into things for no reason. And we are going to need the hook shot. So, boop. And then, so subtle, we'll go over here. Right, doesn't work on you, forgot. If we had the mirror, we could do a bunch of checks up here. We don't have the mirror yet. We don't know where it is. Excuse me. Voice a little bit funny. Recovering from a bit of a bug. Now we could check to see what is up on the cape, as a matter of fact. I think that we will. Now there's going to be a bunch of little birdies here, which are super annoying. But I'm quick. I'm built different. Oh, out of my way, you. It's just a heart. Okay. So we don't have to worry about that. So we won't need the cape for progression, which is definitely a good sign. We have the stuff that we could do. Could do the Dark Woods. But I really don't want to. I want to get these checks out of the way, and if I have to, I'll do escape. There's second lift upgrade. Change of plans, we're going to do Thieves' Town. This way I don't have to worry about leaving any checks behind. Oh. Oop. Honestly, I could also do the dwarf check too. That's actually kind of tempting. That's a mushroom that we can trade for another item. That's a mystery Muscatool to help us later. So we have a choice. We could do a... Oops, wrong button. We could do a wrong button. We could do a bunch of checks. Or we could do a dungeon. If this was a stream, I would just ask you folks. However, it is not. So... yeah, let's do dungeon. Let's show you another boss. Besides, if I'm going to full send a dungeon, this is one of the ones I'd prefer to full send because it is a shorter one. Because there's still some items that we're looking for. We may not need Ice Rod from the looks of it, which would be fantastic. May not need the book, which would be fantastic. Excuse me. Alright. There are four chests that we have access to right now. Oh, that's so neat for the imp option. Let's see. There's the big key, so there could be an item here. What is it though? Compass. Thought I blanked it, but I guess not. Having access to the boots right now would be so good. I'm hoping they're here. So the Pegasus boots allow you to move much faster and can often cut minutes off of your run. Where are they? I have no idea. Just don't want to die down here. So while you're doing these sorts of checks and while you're navigating a dungeon, often you want to be thinking, what items do I have? Where can I go next? Where is my opponent going next if you're in a race? You always want to be thinking about your next move. And if you've played against someone often enough, maybe think about how you might be able to subvert their expectations. You know, if you know where they go, maybe you go somewhere different. Maybe you stick to your plan. There is the cape, which can be useful, but hopefully we will not need it. So you're probably wondering, why did you just go and cause some vandalism here in this poor person's house? Ow. Well, the plan is to show them the light in the error of their ways. And definitely not force a transformation in the final boss of this dungeon. Well, only boss of this dungeon. This isn't one of the Zeldas where they have mini-bosses. That was gutsy. They could have turned around and shot at me. I believe the map is the only other item I haven't seen yet. Oops. Oh, that's a good one. That is a good progression item. Really, guys? Come on. You are better than that. I don't want to use the ferry if I don't have to. So this is a possible divergence. If I wanted to risk it for the biscuit, so to speak, I could decide not to go in here and not to do this check. It is quick, and I would have been rewarded for not doing it. But since I knew that there was a map and one other item left, what I could have done to try to save time was fight the boss, see what item the boss has. And if it wasn't the map, then I know that I didn't need to go through there. However, if it was the map, there could have been a chance of leaving something vital. So this boss is a bit unique in that they have patterns, and they only require a couple of hits. And I used to be really good at doing this, but again, it has been a little while. Now having red tunic will make this a little bit easier. Same thing with my shield. However, why leave things to chance if you don't have to? And it was a piece of heart, but at least it filled up my heart container, so this will be a quicker transition. We have our second of 7 crystals. Now, this was an important thing because having access to the flute will mean that when we go back to the light world, we'll have access to fast transportation, which will let us zoom around the map and do a lot of things very quickly. For example, right now, with that second lift upgrade, we can get this little fellow. And you're probably wondering, Cadenza, what are you doing? Well, we're going to hammer these down to gain access to a special secret cave to hopefully have access to something like the mirror or perhaps a sword upgrade. Excuse me. Because we need the mirror or the boots or a sword upgrade, and that is none of the above. So we're going to save quit, which will take us back to the light world. And our toad friend has now become a blacksmith. So we are going to do a very quick route all the way around to the blacksmith shop. We are going to drop the blacksmith off, and we are going to get an upgrade. Now, in the regular game, it is a sword upgrade. I'm kind of hoping that's the same thing here. What I really don't want to see is something like the shovel. Doing this now also means that we are in the vicinity to gain access to our flute, which we can use, again, to zoom around the map, gain access to a bunch of checks very quickly. I would still be worried about not having access to boots right now, but they just might not be around, and that's okay. So then we leave, then we come back, and they have an item for us, but you have to have a little bit of cash to get it. Bombs. Okay. Bombs is fine. That's not what we really wanted to see, but it is something. Oh right, I forgot to do Sick Kid because I have the Bug Catcher's Net, so let's do that now too. What do you have for me? Heart is good. I'll take a heart. Now we have a pretty song played, and we have our duck friend now, which is great, because we are going to use them to do a lot of stuff. And because I'm a sucker for isolated checks, let's go do an isolated check and see if it pays off. So we know we have to do Misery Mire, which is the name of this area, for a dungeon, which means there is a special medallion that we will need to gain access to. So I like finding out what that is and not falling into deep water, but hey, you know, sometimes we don't always get what we want. Half magic, though, is one of those things I absolutely want. While not required to complete the game, it is a nice item to have access to. Oh, come on. Alright, we need access to Quake. It's really throwing me off not having the Mirror of the Boots right now. Let's go do this, which is where we need the mushroom. Boop. And head back here. We'll go inside and see what they have for us. What was the mushroom worth to them? 20 bucks. That's fine. Okay, so looks like escape might be where we need to go, or it could be the mountain. I think I can't avoid escape much longer. I think I have to go for it. So that's what we're going to do. So in the base game, the escape sequence is going, retrieving Zelda, and getting her out and getting her sanctuary. However, because it's an open seed, we don't have to actually do that. It's already been done, but a lot of the item checks are still there to do. I like doing this when I have access to the mirror, or having access to boots like I mentioned before, because it gives you the ability to get in and get out very quickly. I don't remember if we had access to the map or not. Don't think we do. So there could be a check that we don't have to worry about because we did the back of escape before doing the front, which would be the map. Just get through you folks. I find the fire rod to be a little bit faster on the draw. There's a key, there's a key. And again, as you can tell, often discretion is the fastest way to valor. Oh boy, there's the map. So we know that there is something in one of the dark rooms. This is a bit of a problem because we have too much health and we have the red tunic, so we can't really death warp, which is when you die and go to the dungeon. So I really hope we don't have to go and do that part of this. Thank you. Okay. That is fine. That is fine. That is fine. Alright. We don't have to, but it is probably best for us to not just avoid that check. So we got the Cane of Burnout, which is a protective item, which is great to have. Not required to beat any dungeons, but it does make a check later on pretty easy to do. So it's nice to have. especially with us having access to half magic. So you notice I have a little corona of light around us, and that would be because we have access to the lamp. So doing this in the dark was actually one of the first dark rooms that I learned how to do, because I tried to do the escape sequence as fast as possible. I think at my best I was able to get it to about maybe 5 minutes. And it was just a little bit of love, but that's okay. We could all use a little bit of love now and again. So, now we have access to the flute, like I mentioned before. Let's go to Death Mountain. Again, big things we need are the Quick Medallion, the boots in the mirror especially. I would also love to have sword upgrades, for example. There's a bunch of checks we're going to have access to here shortly, and I hope that one of them is what we want. Normally, what I would do is I would try to do... Oh my goodness, we're stuck. Ah! There's a check that I would normally do if I had access to the stuff. Perfect. Loved that sword upgrade. Which is the other side of Death Mountain, because having Dark World access and having the second lift upgrade means you can get a whole bunch of checks done pretty much like just bang, 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 one after the other after the other. Oh my goodness. So let's see what we have up here. That is a single arrow. We're gonna jump down here and see what this is. 100 rupees. Not exactly what we want right now. Might be nice if we had, for example, more bottles, because then we could buy potions. But right now I wouldn't be able to help but feel that I am running behind on the seed, that I'm not fast enough. We managed to get 2 out of 7 crystals, and we do have access to complete some of the other dungeons. However... Oh, I love having access to that sword. Shoot. Shoot, 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 shoot. Again, it's been a little while since I've done this. I'm used to having access to the mirror and just being able to go boop, boop, boop. I think this is where I need to go. I think. Maybe I'm conflating the light world and dark world. Yep, I am conflating the light world and the dark world. That's okay. This is practice. This is what practice is for. Is making sure that you don't make these mistakes later on. Because we want access to... What am I even doing? Was this one up here? Am I just that out of it? No, I'm not. Oh my goodness. I am just... Here we go. Here we go. in my brain it was left in the dark, right in the light, but it wasn't the right one. Tempered sword, we love to see it. So far, a whole lot of nothing. That's fine. We still have Spiral Cave to do. I think this is right. Oh, I did it. All right. That is a bomb jump. And I'm glad that I'm still able to remember how to do those. So there is a Spiral Cave that we can do. And there's also a dungeon. Instead of doing the dungeon right now and doing, or sorry, instead of doing Spiral Cave and then doing the dark side checks with Hookshot Cave, I just want to get this dungeon out of the way. So when you're at full health, you get access to beams. Beams are great. Please be something good. Please be something good. So having access to the big key means that we can go up here first. We don't actually have to go downstairs. There is a locked door there, which means the key could be behind it, or could be a situation where the map is behind there. Messed that up. I didn't mean to step on the other star there. Oh, come on. Okay, so because I have that small key, that means that the small key is not locked behind itself, but I still kind of hope the map is. Because then I don't have to go and do an extra check. This is a required boss though, which is fine. There's the map. Okay, so we know that there is an item on the boss, and we know that there is an item in the basement. So we will have to do the basement. Again, I say will have to as if I know there's something down there. I know there is an item, I just don't know what that item is. And if we're already here doing this, might as well do it. Could be Quake, could be a single rupee. I hate this boss so much. This guy's so annoying because he can knock you over. And he does that consistently. Thankfully, Tempered Sword means he goes down very fast. 300 bucks and crystal. So that is crystal number 3 of 7. We are not making the best of progress right now. But we are a couple of items away from being able to just straight up complete this. So let's go back in. Let's see if I can do a glitch. Oh, I didn't do it in time. Oh, shoot. That's fine. I have enough hearts. I can tank this. So there's a glitch that if you hit the pedestal at the right time, or the little pearl, and these shoot up, you can lock yourself in so you don't take damage. Just gives you a bit of a break. Doesn't speed it up or anything. Please be something good. Please be something good. Already I'm thinking about Hookshot Cave and the Dark World checks on the other side. Which we are going to do now. Because I don't have the flippers to do the water dungeon. I do have the stuff that I could do the fire dungeon, or Skullwoods dungeon. What else? Trying to think of the other dungeons that I have left to do. Misery Mire, I don't have Quake to do. So we are missing Quake, and we are missing the flippers, and we are missing the mirror. Those are the only items we absolutely need to complete the seed. Again, left in the dark, right in the light. So we go here. Let's see if I can do a hookshot glitch to get across. Nope, I messed that up. If you have the mirror, you can actually just blank those. Again, this has been some time since I played. I keep saying that, as if everyone's gonna forget, but yeah. Alright, let's push this over here, climb up over here. Let's see what we have. We have bombs. We have rupees. Now, there could be something in this palace. There could be something in Turtle Rock. I just hope there isn't. There's the shovel. That is a item. Oops. That we may need at a later time. So I missed an item over there on Hookshot, so we'll just grab that right quick. Heart, okay. So, the shovel, huh? Alright, well, back to our house. Let's go use that shovel. There's also the locked treasure chest that we can check in the Dark World that I'm thinking of right now. Trying to think of the other checks that we can do that are in dungeons. I think we're starting to run pretty low, actually, because the book is required for a lot of different checks. The mirror is required for 1 or 2 checks. There's the boots. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad to see those. Alright, overall checks. Right. This gives us access to a couple of those. So let's go do those overall checks, shall we? Oh, and let's see what's down here. Please be the mirror. Flippers. Okay. That gives us partial access to the water temple. That might mean that ice temple is partially required. That kind of worries me. I was trying to remember what I was going to sequence next. Thinking. Yeah, let's do... I was trying to decide if I want to do Skullwoods or Palace of Darkness. I think in this situation I'm just going to do Palace of Darkness. Having the boots will definitely help with this. Oh yeah, no, I was going to do the treasure chest check. That's fine. I'm sure it's nothing. Watch that be like the mirror or the Quake medallion. So that little monkey falling behind us is going to siphon some cash, but is going to be super duper useful because without the monkey, you cannot get access to Palace of Darkness. So talking about the mirror before, the mirror allows you to warp to the beginning of a dungeon and allows you to switch between the light world and the dark world. And because there's a lot of backtracking that can potentially be done in this dungeon, having access to that is really important. And that's what I mean about the hookshot, allowing you to speed around very fast. It doesn't have the same wind-up that the boots have. Though the boots are still oh so very useful. I will need this. For example, the boots can allow you to do that, depending on the pattern of the cracks. Oops. Oh, I love having access to the bow, because I can do that. Now, if you notice, spikes and certain things will always do a set amount of damage. Wouldn't normally go over and do this part here, but we are a little bit sore, and, well, yeah. Believe I'm good? No, I did need to do that. Okay. There are a lot of small keys in this dungeon here, and you do need a lot of them. However, if you are smart and you are fast, and aren't having to go through the entire dungeon looking for specific items, you can get away with a lot of it without having to worry too much. So right now I'm looking for the master key, and I'm also looking for stuff like the mirror and the other stuff that we've been looking for a while. There we go. So there we go. Now we have access to the section here. There is a special jump that you can do across this gap to get to the big chest. However, I don't know how to shoot. I don't know how to shoot. I don't know how to do that very well. And we don't have the big key yet. We don't actually have the compass either, or the map. So I'm not going to do the maze yet until I find the big key. If you need money, this is a good spot to get it. There's the big key. Perfect. Let's just do this while we're here. Oh, there's the mirror. Okay. I kind of feel silly not doing this earlier, because I would have had access to that. There is the Ether Medallion, which is not the medallion we want, but it is one of 3. Imagine trying to do this in the dark. There's some people I know that can do it. I am not one of those people. I believe there are 2 other chests in addition to this one. There's the map that gives us all our items, so we know the other 2 chests are occupied. I believe one of them has a small key, and the other one has what we are looking for, which is the final item of the dungeon. Fortunately for us, we kind of have to go that way anyway, so we're not really going out of our way. And all the enemies are still dead. Did I throw that too far? No, perfect. Now, if we had access to the Cane of Samaria, we could just put a block there and not have to worry about it. Did I do this right? We'll find out in a second. Oops. Oh, come on. There we go. No, I did not do this right. There is a spot that I need to trigger. Or this pearl here. There we go. That's actually another glitch. So if you have access to the hammer and you have access to the boots, you can use them both at the same time, and it will act as if you have it being hammered down. So I guess I could have done that instead. That was kind of silly of me. That's fine. Could have done that instead. That would have saved me a couple of seconds. Now sometimes if you're in a rush, you may not remember, but down here there is actually a small key room. Right there. And if you don't have it and you forget, yeah, it can cost you some time. Speaking of being things that cost you time, these enemies are a pain in the butt. Especially if you don't have access to Tempered Gold Sword or Eva Master Sword. Alright, let's go do a boss. So, the Helmet Sword is a boss that requires you to break his mask, before you can assign damage to him. You can do this either through bombs or through the hammer. It just takes a little while, and he moves faster. There we go. Moves faster without his mask on. Magic powder. Magic powder can give us access to another item. And it's actually somewhere we want to go because we need access to the treasure chest. So, yeah. So, here's why mirror is so useful. Because now, ta-da, we're in Light World. I need to get to the Dark World. And my silly little brain is having a hard time remembering where... Oh no, I know where it is. But we're so close to this, might as well do it now. Alright, so we go down here. And we go and wake up the bat. In the original game, this is where you get access to your half magic. In this case, it was 20 bucks. So right now what we're looking for is that Quake Medallion, which could be pretty much anywhere. Part of me wants to do Skullwoods and just get it over with, but if I could access that Quake Medallion outside an overworld check, that means I can just rush through the dungeon. I don't have to check every single item, I can just go as fast as I can straight through. And the last dungeons we have to do are Misery Mire, Skullwoods, and I believe there's one more. But its name is escaping me. Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, so your flute does not work in the Dark World. So. Oh yeah, it's Swamp Palace is the other one. So we're going to do this overall check, and then we are going to do some other checks too to try to find this Quake Medallion. So, remember this place? Did you know that there is actually a spot back here that has an item check? So, shoot, this is one of those ones where I kind of want the bottle anyway, so I'm willing to go ahead for it. So there is K45 still for overworld checks and a few others. But yeah, I think I have to do... I think I have to do this. I think I need to just go through and do dungeons. Swamp Palace, Skullwoods, and hopefully they give me access to Misery Mire. The more and more I think about it, the last of the overworld checks are all very disparate. They're just here, there, and everywhere. And without knowing what I need, it can be really difficult to find it. It's one of the frustrating things about it being something like the Quake Medallion, because other than things that it blocks access to, could be anywhere. Could be in Turtle Rock, for example, which would be an absolutely hateful place for it to be. Could also be on the pedestal in the Lost Woods. Basically, those checks would require me to do every dungeon, essentially, have access to pretty much all the items in the game. Alright, so let's go into Swamp Palace. Pick the wrong item. I need access to this. Get the key here. Excuse me. Trying to go for the dungeons that have the most checks to them, because balance of probabilities, if I'm opening up more chests, then that gives me more of a chance to get the item that I need. I think that's how that works. Makes really funny sounds for like a sprinkler. The There's a key there, isn't there? Ah, shoot, I forgot about that. Is there a key here? No. Yep, there's a key there. Okay. Now we fill up the water there, and need that back like this to make sure that some other pedestals up ahead are down. So, fun story, if you have access to the hookshot and the flippers and the mirror, you don't actually need the big key to complete this dungeon to get to the end. there's the map. That's bombs. So there's still the compass and the big key, and the big key could be locked inside its own chest. I want to thank you for your patience, by the way, watching this longer video. This isn't really my normal style of content, so thanks for watching. And if you've ever played any of the Zelda games, I'd love to hear what your favorite is. You know, do that sweet, sweet engagement that streamers and personalities do. Gonna drain the water here. There's Quake. Perfect. Awesome. We are in go mode. We can just go through the rest of the dungeons now and not have to worry about overworld checks. Believe this is the big key. Yeah. Which means that the compass is either on the boss or the compass is in the big chest. But the thing is, at this point, it doesn't matter. We are just zooming. Because there's a key here. That'll get us access to the boss room. I want to grab all these off of this person here. I don't quite know what they're referred to. Oh, I got kind of stuck there. And boom. Oh, come on. One more should do it. If I hit it, there we go. Again, out of practice. Alright, so now we have to do Skullwoods, and we need to do Misery Mire, and then we can go for Tower of Ganon. Now, there's no particular order we have to do these in. Misery Mire, though, is somewhere we can just warp to very quickly. So we are just going to go and do that. For this we need the big key, and we need access to a small key. Past this dungeon, or this room, we need to kill all the enemies, which is a little bit easier to do with Tempered, as long as you don't get bullied by the Wizrobes. So again, once we have access to big key and a small key. Oh, actually, no. Oh, shoot, I completely forgot. There is an item that we need for this. We need the cane of Burnus, am I right? One of the canes. Ah, shoot. Didn't even think of that. Okay, we're not in go mode just yet. How awesome would that have been if that's what we needed? I'm gonna try to do this dungeon and hope that it's here. The chances of it being here are remarkably slim. I'm sorry, this is a little bit demoralizing. To think that you're in go mode like this and then realize that you're not, you know, that you thought that you were ready to complete this dungeon, but that wasn't the case. Part of me wants to just warp out, however, how silly would it be if I warped out only to find out that it is actually in this dungeon? How trolly would that be? If the game's like, oh, actually it was here the whole time. You just didn't notice it. Let's get some health. How's that sound? I'm feeling kinda... There we go. I'm making all sorts of mistakes right now. Part of it is just the frustration of thinking I was correct there, thinking I had the right of it, and not. So, starting to make a lot of silly mistakes. So I guess what I'm saying is don't do what I'm doing and make those silly mistakes. Try to be better, try to be smarter. Are you going to make them? Absolutely, you're going to make mistakes, but don't get stressed out about the small stuff. There's that big key, however, we don't know where the cane is, so... There we go. There we go. And then we can do this. Get bonked there, do that. Get access to that. There's still the right side of the dungeon, which would have access to the big chest. And again, we still need a small key. And every item that I see, which is not what I'm looking for, just... yeah. It's not encouraging, let's just put it that way. Let's go do the big key. There is another chest that we have access to right now, but we're just going to go do that one first. I can just picture the comments, you can't do go mode, you don't have access to the cane yet. You know what? You're right. Unfortunately, I'm not able to hear you. Often when I'm playing these runs, I get access. Don't know what I expected there. But hey, it worked out. Kind of. Why Why? No, get back here. There, thank you. Alright, I think I need that in that position for me to do... to get access to this, which is here. No, that's also... It's also blue too. Okay. It is fine. That's not. I wanted that to be something else. Okay, so. One, two. Uh-oh. Oh, thank goodness. Please be Kane, please be... That's not Kane. Alright. That's fine. That is completely fine because even though it's likely not it, this is going to be the Kane. Nope, that's the map. We cannot complete this dungeon at this time, so what we are going to do instead is we are going to go get some magic. And we're gonna go do Skullwoods. Oh my goodness gracious. Where could it be? Where could it be? Could be anywhere. However, we can do Skullwoods, so we're gonna go do Skullwoods. And then we'll do overroll checks, and if necessary, we will do dungeon checks. We will find this. And definitely resist the temptation to peek at the spoiler. Even though I am oh so tempted to do so. Because, spoiler alert, I actually don't enjoy this dungeon all that much. Oddly enough. I don't remember if there's a key on one of you. And honestly, I also kind of need magic, so I'm gonna do what I have to do. Was there an item here? No, there's no item there. Okay. Here. Might as well just bomb this now. Get it over with. Boom, 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 boom. Think this is where I need to go? Nope, it was not. That was absolutely the last place I needed to go. Okay. So what I need to do is go up over here, and go over here, and go through here. It's so much easier with bombos. There. Excuse me. And 3, 2. There. Knew he was coming down eventually. There we go. Ooh, that was close. That's just a key. As is that. And we're going to do this. Is this a relatively fast dungeon? If you know what you're doing, yes it is. If you don't, or just don't like it like me, then yeah, it can be a challenge. Now I know what you're thinking, Cadenza, why don't you like this dungeon? It's simple. I have died here a lot when I was first learning how to play, and it kind of, yeah, just soured me on it. Ah, shoot. There we go. And then here, and then there. And you have a key that I do not need, so I can just do this. I don't remember if silvers work on you or not. Let's find out. Nope, they do not. Fantastic. Well, that's fine. We're going to use Tempered Sword. Bombs. Okay, great. So the cane that we need is anywhere, essentially, at this point. Could be in Ice Palace, could be an overworld check. Could even be on the pedestal. Since we have both the red crystals, however, and I messed up my teleport. What I'd like to do is check the bomb shop / pyramid option. So we're going to go to that. So to do this, we need both the red crystals to get access to the red bomb. Now, my brain is telling me that this could be in Desert instead. Desert would be pretty quick to check, even though it is a pendant dungeon. I don't want to do Ice. I don't want to try to do Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock actually is one of the places it probably isn't, just because you need access to the cane in order to do that dungeon. There is a couple of overroll checks above the graveyard, for example, which could have it. It could be Hookshot Light World, for example. I guess it could be the first chest in Turtle Rock. Trying to think where else it could be. Yeah, we're starting to run out of spots, actually. I know it's not on Cape. We've done all of, like, the West Dark World checks. Is it here? It is not here. Fantastic. Okay. You know what? Yeah, let's do the top of graveyard check. And then if it's not there, we'll do desert. And after that, I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel for where it could be. We haven't seen the book yet, which is comforting, because that means less likely to be on pedestal. Oh, could be lumberjack too. Oh my goodness. I'm just picturing people cackling about it being lumberjack, because that would mean doing the Dark Wizard fight at the very first of the game. Well, not first, but like it gives you access to the Dark Worlds. Oh, it's not there. Okay. Think. Think, Cadenza, think. You were talking about... yeah, okay. Right, we're gonna go do desert. So, desert usually requires you to have access to the book, however, you can do it this way. And kind of cheese the back of it. Since we have the boots, this is possible to do. Map, okay. If there had been an item there, of course. Big key? Big key. Right, oh, the small key, shoot. Okay. Could have stolen a big key, or a small key from the back. Didn't think to do that. I need this to not be the compass. Or the other thing to be the compass. Because if the other thing is not the compass on the boss, in which case I know that it can't be in desert. There's a check by Ice Palace in Light World that I might do in a second here, and there's a check for Hookshot as well. Fairy in a bottle, not sad to see that, except it's not really what we want at the moment. Please, please, please. Okay, so that means the boss could have something. So let's go and do a boss really quick. There. Key is here. So if it's not in this dungeon, we'll do the Ice Palace check for the Light World. We'll do the hookshot check, and what else? There was another weird check. Oh yeah, the lumberjack check too. AKA the checks that are a pain in the ass. Shoot. Come on. And one more should do it. There we go. Please, 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 please. No. Right color, wrong item. There's also, Cave of Burna check that we could do. Alright, let's commence the silly checks. That's a neat color. That's a glitch. Come on, is it here? Okay, that is simultaneously really good and really bad. It's good because it means we don't have to do a bunch of other wild goose chases. It's bad because it was there the whole time, and when I did the fake flippers check, I was like, huh, I should go and check to see what's over there. Nah, it's normally nothing. I'm fine. Ah, I did it wrong. I did it wrong. Okay. Let's see. I need to go here. Alright. Silly, making mistakes, just being a little bit panicky, but it's okay, because now we have what we need for go mode. I am so glad I didn't just assume and dive Ice Palace. I think I would have torn my hair out for that one. I swear, normally this is nothing. Alright, let's go and do this dungeon. I was kind of hoping to get a sub 2 hours on this. That is not going to be the case. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, let's do this. These are also really miserable dark rooms as well, too. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh, come on. Really? Alright, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You have everything. You are in go mode. It is okay. Guess I need a small key after all. Thought I did. Oh, come on. Hit me. Hit me. There we go. I think I might do another one of these next week and just see what the difference is between runs, essentially. I don't need this. I have access to these. Come on. There we go. Excuse me. I'm going to show you another glitch as well, too. Super speed, you need the boots, you need the hook shot, and you need a ladder. Oh no. Oh, there's the sword. I'd be tempted to get that, however, we don't actually need it. One, two, and three. This is Turtle Rock. That would have been the other dungeon. It is one of the longest dungeons in the game. Aside from the one that we're going into right now. Now I need access to a big key and a small key for this one. There are about 20 some different checks for this. Let's hope that I can do this quickly. That's not it. There it is. Bingo. Come on. Pow. There we go. I'm just tanking the damage because I can right now. The goal is to get through this as fast as humanly possible. I can do this actually. Come on. There we go. Oh, come on. There we go. And here we go. Let's do you. Let's do you. And then let's take this. And let's go back to this, because I'm going to need that in a second. Come on. There we go. And then one more. Ah, shoot. Come on. There we go. Oh, come on. There we go. And this. No, 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 no. The skittering might have fucked me. No. Or shoot. Sorry, didn't mean to swear. There we go. And then this, and then this. There we go. Don't need to worry about your keys, because I have two. And then... Ow. It's fine, because I can do this. Ah, shoot. I didn't have my sword perched right. There's some people that can just circumvent this fight altogether by using glitches, but I am not that good. There, one more. There we go. I think it's over here. Yeah, there we go. What is this anyway? Perfect. And let's see if I can do the glitch. Yeah, perfect. Shoot. Come on. I used to be able to do this really well. There we go. All right. Shoot. Oh, come on. Here, this is the right one. There. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. One more. 6. There we go. And now for the final boss. All right. Why rule over a desert full of stereotypes when corrupt a world and pure evil and rule over that instead? Trying to hit him as much and as fast as we can. I do have a fairy, I believe. Yeah, I do. Which I might end up burning through right now. That's okay, because I also have blue magic as well too, or a blue potion. Hopefully I will not need it, because I'll be able to get the rest of the hits I need right now. There we go. And then a few more. I'm going to need this. No, silver, my one true weakness. Ow. And then we do this. Come on. And then switch to this. Fire arrows. Mess it up, because of course we did. And fire goes out. Fires that back up. And then you are here. I shoot you. And then you teleport, and I hit you. And the fire goes out again. And then last one. Boom! Alright, we did it. Not bad for about a year and a half away from having done it last. Alright. Success. am kind of curious as to what was on the pedestal. Oh, my mouse fell off my desk. Life lesson for sale. Yeah, that's the truth. Two wood choppers. But yeah, there is a great community of streamers and broadcasters over at Speed Gaming. I definitely recommend giving them all a follow and checking them out. They do stuff like Super Metroid. Um, they do different randomizers there like that, Link to the Past. Um, yeah, there's also stuff like Free Enterprise. If you're interested, pretty much any game like this where it's collectathons, um, you can turn into a randomizer of sorts, and they're a lot of fun to do, especially if you enjoy puzzles, if you enjoy racing, if you have any sort of competitive edge to you. They're fun to watch, they're fun to do. Couch Cash, it was only money. Thank goodness. I have seen an ice rod on there that was required for completion, and let me tell you, oh boy, was that the seed? Was that quite a seed? Now we're going to get into the stats and credits portion. Let's see if we can speed this up just a little bit here. Oh, what happened? There we go. And thank you, Deacons, for the Sprite. Definitely recommend checking out the community Discord, alttpr.com/discord. Found our first sword within 3 minutes, Pegasus boots nearly an hour, flute 34 minutes, mirror an hour and 5 minutes. Took a lot of damage, 15 bonks, 13 save and quits, 1 death, 2 fair revivals. Menu time was 5 minutes, lag time was 8 minutes. Let's see if we can do better next time. See if the seed will be more generous, and if I can get those menuing times down as well too. Thank you very much for watching and listening, folks, to this very long recording, whether it be on first or second monitor, whether it be on your phone or your tablet. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Take care out there, and I'll see you in the next one.